In this video, I'm going to give you a short story on James Wynn, which is one of the craziest stories of the recent traders in crypto that went basically from $0 to $100 million back to zero and still trading on Hyperliquid, which is one of the best exchanges for perps, definitely the biggest decentralized exchange where you can trade without any KYC ALM because it's basically on chain. So let's get started with answering the question, who's James Wynn? It seems like he's just a dude who managed to get into Pepe very early on. As he mentions in one of his tweets, he actually did find Pepe very early on when he was sub $1 million, and basically that was his biggest win. He went from I think $200 or $300 to the first 100,000 or even the first million, even maybe more than that. Depends on what you see, where you believe. But it seems like the meme coin game in 2023 was the first start for James Wynn. And apart from that, as he mentioned, he's from a small town in England, trading from his desktop and basically managing to get into very good positions. Now, he got a lot of attention recently because of his degenerate behavior on chain with Hyperliquid, which you can pretty much see on Hypertracker on any other kind of dashboard that gives you the position. So this is the wallet address of James Wynn, and he's basically super bullish, but he got bullish at the point where, first of all, we got some nice price action. Bitcoin went to all-time high. That's why you can see, if you see it all, he went from smaller positions to basically almost $90 million of PNL, $82 million, and by equity, if you see that, there was basically $90 million all together. However, that was only the beginning, because then he decided to have a couple more positions, which basically made his account go down almost to zero, and he still remains super bullish, even though BTC is ranging from around 104,000 to around 110,000. So from the outside, if you zoom out, nothing is really happening. But for James Wynn, a lot of things are happening at the same time. So it's pretty crazy, but I think this is one of the best marketing stunts for, first of all, Hyperliquid, but also trading on perps. It shows you that basically you can make from a couple, because he started with, if you go with equity, he basically started with a couple of $1 million. Of course, that's a lot of money, but if you have a couple $1,000s, then you can imagine going from a couple $1,000s to like $100,000 or $200,000. But then, of course, the losing part is the part that you want to avoid at all costs. He remains bullish. His main goal right now is, especially if you look at his bio, is trying to make $1 billion USD on perps in 2025. A lot of people are cheering for him. A lot of people actually were donating him money because he wanted to keep on gambling on chain, keep on trading. Plus, he has his own meme coin, which is getting popular. So there are a couple of things that are going on for James Wynn. I wouldn't recommend doing what he's doing. He's, of course, taking a lot of risk, especially with such large positions, because he mostly uses 40x leverage, which is the problem with that is if you don't really get the direction right, you get liquidated pretty quickly. But if you get the direction right and you're, for example, using some kind of trailing clause or some other stuff, you can really manage to get pretty high up with your position. Right now, he's bullish, but as you can see, the market is going a little bit down. Maybe because he's bullish, he became a little bit of the signal, the counter signal, because there are a lot of people that are looking at his massive positions, right? Because he actually, because of the leverage he's using, even if he puts like $100,000, then basically he manages to get like $80 million of positions. And before that, he had the biggest position on Hyperliquid with 1 billion notional position, which was really, really great. And even though he got liquidated, in the end, it showed just how great Hyperliquid is in the market and how it's taking attention from Binance, ByBit, Kraken, and other exchanges. If you haven't tried it yet, please do. You have my link down below in the description for Hyperliquid. I think this is a really great exchange. They had, of course, the biggest airdrop so far, by far. If you can only compare that to maybe Uniswap, but even though then it was much smaller, and they plan on having season 2 airdrop for people that are trading using Hyper EVM, because they have also blockchain L1. So that's pretty interesting. Anyway, this is the story of James Wynn. I think this is a pretty cool story, and it shows that, well, anything is possible on chain. People are living for stories like that in crypto, and I think he got a lot of attention, 300,000 followers, because basically of what he did. Even though he lost a lot, he gained a lot of fame on the crypto Twitter and outside. So thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.